There were 769 traffic crashes involving pedestrians in San Antonio last year. And that's the motivation behind a new safety campaign just launched by the city of San Antonio. It focuses on addressing driver and pedestrian safety several San Antonio streets. Here's what the drivers will notice.
What we hope to accomplish is, through silhouettes, is creating empathy for the public to realize that, hey, that could be my family member walking, that could be a grandma or a grandpa, or even a child in a stroller, or children at a crosswalk. So we are trying to definitely get that awareness going for drivers to be more cautious, more alert, and for pedestrians to cross where they need to cross.
The campaign will also focus on high-risk behaviors that lead to severe crashes, like not crossing at a designated crosswalks, distracted driving, and then speeding. Coming up at 6:30, we got the 3 streets the city is focusing on and why improvements are needed there so badly.
Okay, let's get to a traffic story here, because San Antonio may be great for a lot of things, but being a pedestrian just is not one of them. Our reporter Devin Karp shows us why San Antonio is unfortunately the 7th deadliest city in the nation for pedestrians, and how the problem is hopefully about to get fixed.
Staying safe in San Antonio is not easy on the roads, whether you're crossing them or driving.
A San Antonio mom died after a rollover crash off the highway. She rolled over into a ditch just behind me. Her family tells me they want to know why authorities didn't find her until more than 24 hours later. This story coming up.
A man was hit and killed by a train after trying to chase after his dog. Coming up, we'll tell you what we know about him and how you can help.
Plus, we are learning more about a massive federal bust that happened this past weekend. What we now know about some of the people who were detained.
Live from KSAT 12, the Nightbeat starts right now.
And we thank you for staying up with us tonight. I am Ernie Zuniga. Let's get right to the weather situation tonight as we bring in Adam Caskey to kind of talk about some of the rain that's already appearing, Adam, in the hill country tonight.
Yeah, the first showers have popped up close to Rock Springs this evening, and we're going to see more of them develop, but they're moving very quickly. These are not slow storms. They're flying by. And bottom line for the San Antonio area, don't really expect any notable rain until around and after 4 p.m. tomorrow. That's the key. Everything tonight and at least the first half of the day tomorrow is going to be west of San Antonio. Between I-35 and the Rio Grande is where most of it's going to be during that time frame. It's mainly 4 p.m. and later tomorrow when we'll have some action closer to town. So you get into Rock Springs. This is one of the first little showers to pop up, but heavy rainfall, and it quickly blossomed. Nothing severe, nothing damaging or threatening with this, just a heavy downpour and a lot of loud lightning and thunder associated with it. But you see over the past hour, this just sprouted up in southern Edwards County. Thing is, we're going to see more of these developing, and they'll gradually become more numerous. And so the primary area of concern for flooding, mainly street flooding and some low water crossings, is western hill country, anywhere from Del Rio to Uvalde up to Bandera, Kerrville Junction, and Rock Springs, Lakey, everywhere in between, and the off chance of some of the streams and rivers getting increased flow as well. We'll talk about where the heaviest rain is going to be and how much we could get in just a bit.
All right, so thank you. President Donald Trump has authorized the public release of all Jeffrey Epstein-related files. He announced that about 3 hours ago on Truth Social that he had signed the bill directing the Justice Department to do that. The signing comes one day after the measure passed the House 427-1. It passed through the Senate unanimously on Wednesday morning. Now, what's not known right now is how the Justice Department will release those files. The bill mandates that Attorney General Pam Bondi release all unclassified records tied to Epstein within 30 days. However, she does have the authority to withhold or redact information that could interfere with a federal investigation. Well, 3 days after a federal raid on the north side of town, the Department of Homeland Security has finally given us some more information about that operation. They say more than 150 people were arrested at an after-hours club known to be frequented by the members of the Tren de Aragua gang from Venezuela. We now know 27 gang members were part of those arrests. We have asked for an exact number of people arrested, but have only been given some general numbers. In addition to the gang members arrested, 2 more people are currently under investigation for human smuggling and money laundering, and 1 person is under investigation for cocaine trafficking. Beside the more than 150 arrests, law enforcement also seized cocaine, 3 firearms, and approximately $35,000 in cash. Earlier tonight, a gathering downtown at San Fernando Cathedral and a prayer vigil for the people detained in that raid. Archbishop Gustavo Garcia Sierra spoke in response to the raid and the arrests. He said the church is standing with migrants and immigrants, many of whom are members of our parishes and communities, and also called for a reform to the immigration system.
We also urge meaningfully reform of our immigration system, one that balances the rule of law and compassion, with compassion, dehumanizing rhetoric that builds fear and terror in people's lives, including children, babies, and the systematic marginalization of immigrants.
Now, the situation is still developing, and we'll be sure to keep you updated online and here on air as we learn more. Well, a confusing timeline left a family in mourning and still searching for answers. 21-year-old Jolie Pesina was found dead last night after a car crash. And we told you about that last night here on the Nightbeat. But the crash happened on the south side on Loop 410 East, not far from Highway 16 and Palo Alto College. The victim's family tells the Night Team's Zaria Oates she was in her car in a ditch for more than 24 hours before first responders finally got to her.
Was she in pain? Like, did it happen instantly?
So many questions left unanswered. This is the family of Jolie Pesina. Jolie was a daughter, a sister, and a mother.
She was happy, you know, she made the light in our world, and it hurts us a lot that she's gone now.
Jolie was found dead underneath Loop 410 Tuesday evening around 7 p.m. But the timeline is what frustrates her family. This all started on Monday morning, November 17th.
She wasn't returning any of our phone calls or our text messages. Her phone did ping at 5:52 in the morning to alert medical.
Gloria is Jolie's older sister. She says the San Antonio Fire Department told her an iPhone can alert first responders right after a car crash, and they believe that's what happened here. When first responders got to the scene Monday morning, they didn't find anything or anyone.
We did try to make a police report yesterday, but they couldn't do anything since she's an adult. They said we had to wait at least 24 to 48 hours. So we came looking on our own based off her last known location that we had, and it was showing that she was here basically in the ditch, so we came to look ourselves.
And to give you a clearer picture as to where this all happened, this is Interstate 410, and this is the guardrail that Jolie's family believes she went over before her car continued to roll over this edge and into this ditch just behind me. Her family just concerned and confused as to how they located her car before authorities did more than 24 hours after the crash.
It's terrible. It just feels like they just didn't do enough.
If anybody knows anything, we just want them to come forward.
If you have any information about a crash on 410 East near Highway 16 just before 6 a.m. on Monday, contact SAPD. Zaria Oates, KSAT 12 News.
Well, she didn't get the outcome she wanted tonight. We're talking about the woman arrested at an Edgewood ISD school board meeting 3 months ago. Maribel Gardea filed a grievance with the board, but it was unanimously denied earlier this evening. So this, you might recall, is a video from the school board meeting back in August where Gardea was removed from the public comment portion and then she was arrested. The DA's office has since dismissed the 3 charges she faced, but the school still has sanctions against her. The board denied her grievance, saying that her actions violated their operating procedures. We spoke to Gardea before the vote tonight. She called what happened to her, quote, an abuse of power, end quote. San Antonio police are asking for the public's help to find 27-year-old Destiny Rose Ferdine. She was last seen Wednesday in the 300 block of Labor Street, where officers responded to an assault call. Police say a 35-year-old man who was her ex forcibly took her in a vehicle and left in an unknown direction. Destiny has brown eyes and shoulder-length black hair. She is 4'10", weighs 115 pounds, and was last seen wearing a pink shirt and blue jeans. Authorities are looking for a white 2000 Dodge Ram, which is the vehicle the suspect drives. If you have any information on Destiny's whereabouts, contact the San Antonio police. An incident on the San Antonio Riverwalk has gone viral with a TikTok video viewed more than 6 million times. A woman is seen pepper spraying a group of people, including a toddler, on a barge on the Riverwalk. Now, in the video posted to social media Saturday night, people are seen wiping their eyes and a toddler is crying. According to San Antonio police, a woman pepper sprayed a group of 8 people on Saturday on that river barge after the riders and boat operator told her to turn her phone down. At this time, San Antonio police say the suspected sprayer has still not been arrested. We also reached out to Go Rio San Antonio River Cruises for comment, but we so far have not received a response. New tonight, a mail carrier is in a hospital after being bitten by a dog on the northwest side. Animal Care Services told KSAT the mail carrier suffered a bite to her right arm. ACS is investigating the bite and said the owner was issued 4 citations, 1 for the bite, 1 for not having the dog microchipped, 1 for not having the dog vaccinated, and 1 for the animal being off their property. The dog is described as a male mastiff mix and has been placed in quarantine. Well, he was running after his dog. That's when a local man was hit and killed by a train. Tonight, we are learning more about who he was. When we first told you about this story last Thursday, the crash happened just before 5:30 in the afternoon near Frat Road and Interchange Parkway on the northeast side. And the night team's Avery Everett spoke to people who knew him for years and now say they need your help.
I don't want him to go left like nobody knows what happened or, oh, he just disappeared, because he didn't. He disappeared trying to save a dog.
A split-second decision cost him his life. And now the people who knew Howard Lee Lyons say they're trying to make sense of what happened.
He wasn't blood, but you called him family.
Yes.
His friends called him Lee, and he was 59 years old. Last Thursday, San Antonio police say he was hit and killed by a train near 410 and I-35 North. They say he was chasing his dog that got loose.
He chose that dog over himself.
Jennifer Stelb and her son Tevin met Lee 2 years ago when they worked at this Econo Lodge just down the road. Jennifer says Lee lived there for 20 years, but it recently closed. She says that's when he and some of the other people living there became homeless.
They all scattered. Some of them were able to go indoors to motels. Some of them are living along the tracks, unfortunately, and that's why we're in the situation we're in.
Jennifer says the dog he was running after is named Blue.
He loves dogs, and he took that dog in because the previous owner passed away.
At the hotel?
Yes.
Blue survived the crash, and that's why Jennifer says he's now on Animal Care Services' website, and he's up for adoption. However, as of Wednesday, the website says Blue is now at risk of euthanasia. That's why Jennifer is hoping someone will step up and help.
Blue is a loving dog.
Nearly 1 week after Lee's passing, Jennifer and Tevin say they're focused on making sure he's never forgotten.
I want to lay him to rest.
So really most of what we know about Blue the dog comes from Jennifer and that ACS link she sent directly to us. Now, we did reach out to ACS ourselves to try to get some of this information confirmed. Earlier today, a spokesperson, all that they could tell me at that time was that the dog was chipped in this case and that they were working to track that down. Reporting live, I'm Avery Everett, KSAT 12 News.
All right, thank you, Avery. Thanksgiving is just over a week away, and San Antonio's west side got into the spirit a little early. Still ahead, how the Avenida Guadalupe Association gave back to the community earlier today. Plus, an area qualifying event for the San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo has been canceled due to an outbreak in horse herpes. What the San Antonio Rodeo is saying and how the virus is transmitted after the break. An area qualifier for the San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo has been canceled. The Uvalde qualifier cancellation comes after an equine herpes virus outbreak in Central Texas, possibly linked to a recent barrel racing event. According to one local veterinarian, the virus is linked to a serious neurological disease in horses and has already led to several horse deaths. It can spread easily through direct horse-to-horse contact, nose-to-nose, or indirectly via contaminated equipment. While there's no confirmation that it's reached any horses that were scheduled for the qualifier, the event is being canceled out of caution.
None of the horses that have been infected with this with the disease ever made it to Uvalde, right? We did this as a precautionary, and so none of the horses were ever there. We didn't have any issues at our event.
Now, though this week's event was canceled, the San Antonio Rodeo says it will be back in Uvalde next year, and they are currently working to fill the field of contestants for next February. All right, turkeys and holiday meals were given out to the community earlier today. Families received turkeys, fresh produce, canned goods, and everything else needed to make the holiday special. The Avenida de Guadalupe Association represents areas on the west side, and they say they've seen a growing need in their area due to food insecurity.
To work in a community of need, you know, I don't think that most people understand that San Antonio has a lot of poverty in it. And many of us, I guess it's important not to forget where you come from. Holidays come around, and we know what that stress is like, and we want to help.
Now, such a great sentiment there. If you are looking for some help this holiday season, KSAT has actually compiled a list of groups and organizations that are giving out free meals this Thanksgiving. You can scan that QR code there right on the screen right now to see where you can get your turkey. Hemisfair Park is launching new attractions in the hopes of becoming the hub for holiday fun. Civic Park and Yanaguana Gardens will transform this holiday season. The historic homes along Nueva Street will be decked out as families come to check out holiday movies by moonlight, food vendors, gift markets, and a brand new outdoor ice skating rink. It's an attraction organizers hope will help to set the vibe for the holidays. All right, well, no ice to be sure in the forecast right now as we look at live cam right now. And pretty calm in San Antonio, but other people in our viewing area, Adam, are starting to see some rain.
Yeah, they're starting to get it out in the hill country, especially Edwards County, and don't expect really much around San Antonio until we get a little closer to 4 p.m. tomorrow. Now, here are the primary headlines in terms of timing and accumulations. In the hill country, we're going to see off and on showers and some storms from right now, basically. It's isolated right now, but becoming more numerous now through 7 p.m. tomorrow. Widespread 1 to 3 inches likely. A small bullseye of 6 inches plus is likely as well. Exactly where, it's hard to tell, but that's where we have the highest likelihood of some flooding in the hill country because of that little bullseye that's likely to set up. But we'll take a look at the rainfall accumulation map in a moment. As for San Antonio, the most notable rain between 4 p.m. and 10 p.m. Not continuously, there will be breaks. And around San Antonio and surrounding counties, of course, it's the rain lottery. Some parts of Bexar County could get 1/4 of an inch, while other parts get 2 inches. We've played this game before. We know how this ends when it comes to rainfall. It's never equal opportunity across South Central Texas or even Bexar County alone. All right, so here's a differentiation between the hill country. Through the night, 60% chance, so pretty good coverage of showers and storms, then up to 80% even by midday tomorrow. Compare that to San Antonio through the same time frame. We're talking a 20 to 30% chance of a few showers overnight tonight and for the morning commute. So the morning commute tomorrow in town is very likely to be dry. It's 4 p.m. through 10 p.m. That's when we see our storm chances at their peak, and that's at 60% here in San Antonio and surrounding counties. Already a little more action starting to develop on authority radar. You can see it out here, and this is what we're expecting. The energy now is coming in. Real County, not far from Lakey and just west of Concan. Some fast-moving downpours. And the key with pointing out that these are fast-moving means they don't leave as much rain behind as they could if they were, say, really slow. The slow movers dump a lot more rainfall accumulations than the fast ones. These are moving at about 40 miles per hour. So this is not like 4th of July where we had a storm sit and not move. These are moving through the night and even tomorrow, but they're going to follow each other. That's the key, and that's why we'll have some bullseyes set up in the hill country, because these storms will be training, like train cars, following each other along the railroad tracks, or the rain road tracks, if you will, tonight. Now, notice by 4 or 5 p.m. tomorrow, the storms transition closer to San Antonio and surrounding areas, and then for several more hours, we'll see some of that activity into the night tomorrow. And then even Friday morning, around sunrise and a little beforehand, a few more stray showers and storms possible. Okay, this isn't gospel here, keep that in mind, but it is important to note that it will be the rain lottery. Some locations missing out and not getting a whole lot, while others, especially in parts of the hill country, could have these bullseyes, and particularly western hill country, bullseyes of 6 inches or more of rain. And that's why we have the highest potential for flooding, of course, up in the hill country and west of San Antonio. Then another round of rain possible this weekend into Monday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Some isolated to scattered random activity. Ernie, we're going to stay on top of this through the night.
Indeed, very good. Okay, keep it right here, of course, and the weather app on your device as needed as well for the weather. But Larry's here, of course. Spurs off the court tonight, but at least one player was busy off the court.
Yeah, De'Aaron Fox. He's just like the perfect San Antonio Spur. He's so good on the court, and he loves doing things for the community off the court, passing out Thanksgiving meals tonight. You will hear from Fox and why this means so much to him. And Coach Sark says he has had enough of the rumors that he wants to leave Texas. Coming up. Spurs point guard De'Aaron Fox handed out some really important assists tonight. Free turkeys and side dishes to Harlandale ISD families. Fox and his family hosted the holiday give back to pass out turkeys and non-perishable essentials to families from Harlandale ISD, taking time to meet and interact with those families. Fox gave out boxes of food, and he truly enjoys spreading holiday cheer.
Just love giving. Just love to be able to put a smile on people's faces, and obviously we're very fortunate. We're in very fortunate positions that we are able to do things like that, and we just love doing it every year. For people who the community supports us, and we wouldn't be here without the type of support that you have for the leagues that we play in and for the teams that we play for. So just being able to do that in the communities that you're in, I think, is always a blessing. Being able to get out into the community and help people who are in need, especially in times like this, around the holiday season where there are people who can't get gifts or have a Thanksgiving and they don't have food on the table the way that we do. It's just something that we love to do. We just love to help people.
And this is a sweet way to finish off a scoring run. Fox throwing down a windmill slam dunk for the final points of the game last night, capping off an 11-0 run by the Spurs. Fox led the Spurs at 26 points. Harrison Barnes was next of 23. The Spurs trailed by 1 with 3:13 left in the fourth, and they scored the final 11 points to win it, 111-101.
Yeah, it feels good because it also felt like it was a lot of defense. We made some shots, but I think the defense, and typically that's kind of how this game works. When you play well defensively, it makes the offense a little easier, whether you're playing with pace or out of matchups, and we made some shots.
And Harrison Barnes made some shots, going 9 for 14 overall and 4 of 5 in the decisive fourth quarter. With some key guys out, HB was the go-to guy at the end, and he delivered.
You always, anytime you go to the gym, you always just, work to be in those positions. You may not be in those positions for 30 games, right? But it's like you just always, work to just have that ready and available. And I think for us, especially, one thing we're focusing on is just trying to just move the basketball, do it as a collective, see what happens, see, who gets a shot. KJ drives, I get a wide open 3. He drives again, he gets a wide open layup, right? It's just doing it as a collective and just trying to figure out ways, these different lineups of how we can win.
The Spurs will wrap up their 5-game homestand tomorrow night at 7 with the Hawks. Texas head football coach Steve Sarkisian is tired of the rumors that he's looking to lead the Longhorns football program. ESPN analyst Desmond Howard stoked the fire Monday when he posted a video on social media saying he wouldn't be surprised if the Texas job opens at the end of the season. Today, during his SEC teleconference, Sark pushed back against those claims.
People reporting that or insinuating that
there's a possibility I could leave the University of Texas, and that is absolutely false and untrue. I'm not going anywhere. Never do I do this because I never want to be a distraction, so I never address these things. But at this point now, I feel like that is important that I do this because it's important for our team. It's important for our university. I've had no discussions, not with my agent, not with the university, not with any other school, not with any NFL team, about ever going anywhere else. I came here to win championships.
Number 17, Texas will host Arkansas Saturday at 2:30 p.m. live here on KSAT 12. The Houston Texans are playing on a short week after the break.